Welcome to Living, and the going gets tough and dirty at the USA Mud Run charity race. Josephine Kumara, Indonesia's leading batik maker, shows her latest collection in Jakarta. And we travel to Spain, where the food is just one of the many delights on offer to tourists.
Ballet Black represents the changing face of contemporary British ballet. Established in 2000, Ballet Black is both a company and a school, giving a platform to the best Black and Asian dancers of today and the stars of tomorrow. The critically acclaimed classical ballet group has already been well received by theatregoers and critics alike. And the group has hit the big time with 4 major performances recently at a leading theatre in central London. Director Casa Pancho says she set up the company to provide equality of opportunity to Black and Asian dancers, rather than to create a separate genre of Black ballet. As with any other company, the main thing is that the audience, no matter what their age or racial background, should enjoy the production. So let's just do that. Ballet Black performs solely in the UK at present, but hopes that as the company grows, it will be able to perform outside of Britain soon.
Also in London, an exhibition opened recently at the Brunei Gallery, offering a photographic journey through modern Iran. It's the work of both male and female photographers, presenting views of daily life that draw a thread between ancient and modern. The works reveal each photographer's particular interest, whether it's a series of women in traditional black chandors or the younger generation going shopping. Curator John Hollingworth is in charge of the exhibition and was impressed with the depth of talent displayed. The photographers themselves are representative of the breadth of Iranian society. Indeed, half the photographers are women, and some of the youngest are only in their 20s. Out of the ordinary, though, is this sequence of bodybuilders as they prepared for competition, as a strong theme throughout the exhibition is Iranian women and how they go about their daily life. Undertaken by the Iran Heritage Foundation, an independent organisation based in Britain, the project received official approval from the Iranian government. And with a wealth of experience behind them, these Iranian photographers have the potential to explore still further the mosaic of their country's daily life.
And in news from Spain, a new Picasso museum has opened in the city of Malaga, in the artist's birthplace. The Buena Vista Palace, home to the Museum of Fine Arts, accommodates about 20 showrooms where paintings and sculptures by Morales, Cano, Ribera, Sorolla and Picasso are exhibited. Located at the magnificent Plaza de la Merced, the new Picasso Museum will exhibit over 200 works of art donated by the artist's family. Pablo Picasso was born on October the 25th, 1881. The son of an academic painter, he began to draw at an early age. In 1895, the family moved to Barcelona, and Picasso studied there, with his first exhibition taking place in 1900. A move to Paris in 1904, and the rest, as they say, is history. Picasso continued his prolific work in painting, drawing, prints, ceramics and sculpture until his death on April the 8th, 1973.
Concern about the environment has grown in the past 2 decades, though at times there may be differences between national strategies and legislation over population from various sources. There's a general global recognition that the implications of temperature rise have to be faced. And so it was that politicians, business leaders and ecologists gathered for a conference on how best to shape the environment for the world by the year 2020. The conference was proof of growing recognition that the Earth's resources are not infinite. Since the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro 11 years ago, more governments have begun to see environmental issues as part of a world view. Environmentalists such as Friends of the Earth warned that clear choices had to be made, with governments needing to join together in one common approach for the future. The implications are that changes in lifestyle are needed before a series of unprecedented natural disasters strike.
Better news from Thailand though, as a pair of white Bengal tigers has started a family. The twin cubs born at a zoo in Bangkok are the first white tigers to be born in captivity in the country. School children crowded to catch a glimpse of the star attractions, distinctive great cats with white fur and blue eyes. But these rare creatures are neither albino nor a separate species, but the result of a mutant recessive gene in some Bengal tigers. Made famous by Las Vegas magicians Siegfried and Roy, white tigers can only be seen in various zoos around the world. They are not believed to be any currently living in the wild. Thailand's white tigers, a gift from Nashville Zoo in the United States, are 8 of just a couple of hundred in the world. In a small veterinarian clinic in central Bangkok, visiting cats and dogs have had quite a surprise of late. 2 one-month-old white tiger cubs playing in the waiting room. The cubs, as yet unnamed, are being looked after by local vet Dr. Chisano Tiacharenshri. As is common in animals born in captivity, their mother refused to care for them, so Dr. Chisano has taken them in. They will be cared for until they are 2.5 months old, when they will be returned to their parents in the zoo. And feeding time is a much anticipated business. This cat doesn't seem to mind that its cousins are getting all the attention. Fortunately for the 2 cubs, they don't seem to mind the intrusive lens of the cameras, something they'll need to get used to. With an estimate of only 270 white Bengal tigers left in the world, it's important that they do receive as much attention as possible. And for Dr. Chisano, the residency at his clinic provides an ideal opportunity to educate people on the need for conservation. In Thailand, as in many Asian countries, tigers are widely hunted by poachers, used for exotic recipes and in traditional Chinese medicine. It's hard to believe, isn't it? And after a hard day's play, it's time for 2 very cute cubs to have a good lie down.
The latest collection from Indonesia's leading batik maker showcased Bin House's signature designs, combining stitch dyeing, woven textiles, embroidery, patchwork and smocking with traditional batik making techniques. True to her one-of-a-kind style, Josephine Kamara, owner of the famous fashion house, still favoured the use of lightweight and soft-hued fabrics over heavier materials used in traditional batiks. Known as Oben or simply Bin, 48-year-old Josephine and her team have again succeeded in creating contemporary batik designs without losing its traditional characteristics. Batik is a process of printing fabric in which parts not to be dyed are covered by wax. Hundreds of fashion aficionados, including Indonesian President Megawati Soekarno-Putri, turned up to see the latest creations. Offbeat kebaya tops, another signature work of Oben, transformed the otherwise formal Javanese blouse into a more casual and contemporary look. Oben, however, downplayed the concept of modern versus traditional, with her new designs giving more emphasis on colours, and traditional Javanese motifs from Solo and Cirebon dominated the show. Bin House's bridal collection was a highlight. Oban employs more than 2,000 weavers, batik makers, dyers, tailors and seamstresses, all of whom she calls artisans in villages across the island of Java. Each cloth that appeared on the catwalk has undergone a long and laborious assembly-like process through the hands of Oban's artisans. This alone separates Oban from mainstream fashion designers. It may take more than a year, for example, to gather the right amount of tubers, flowers and other natural ingredients to achieve and produce a certain colour for the dye. And the result is why Oban is at the top of her field. Starting her business locally 2 decades ago, Oban now owns more than 30 retail outlets worldwide, including Japan, Singapore, Taipei, Hong Kong, Malaysia, the United States and Europe.
One of the most detailed and well-kept dolls' houses from the 19th century was up for auction recently at Christie's in London. And the house, featuring some 15 rooms jam-packed with furniture and tiny figures, was expected to reach between $50,000 and $75,000 US. It's called Dingley Hall, and inside is a world of activity set in the 1870s. A 3-meter tall house, it features 3 stories ranging from the drawing room through to the kitchen and chapel, with hand-embroidered vestments and altar clothes and tiny Bibles. Intricate, finely detailed work ranging from chattels and dolls to elaborate wall paintings, even a grandfather clock. And surprise, it was built by 2 little boys, 2 brothers, Lawrence and Isaac Curry. Their father was a banker from Hampshire. The 2 boys furnished and decorated it, and since the 1950s the doll's house has been in the Bethnal Green Museum of Childhood. The experts say that Dingley Hall is one of the finest dolls' houses seen in Britain for more than 20 years. It comes complete with its own cat and mouse, 5 servants and a cook preparing the evening meals.
Over in Argentina, they're not auctioning anything. In fact, they're giving it away. The Argentine government is currently giving away some 400,000 soccer-themed books at matches to encourage reading. However, there are fans that many could be torn up for ticker tape celebrations. Argentine President Nestor Kirchner has dubbed the campaign "When You Read, You Win" and believes the program will be a success, even if only a small percentage of people read the short stories written by well-known Argentine and Latin American writers. However, many fear fans may cut up the booklets to use as confetti. Argentine fans have become known around the world for welcoming their teams onto the field with huge clouds of ticker tape, usually cut from newspapers. Many young people were asked to take on the task of handing out the books, and in some quarters it looked as if the message was indeed getting through. The longest penalty in the world by the late Osvaldo Soriano was the first of the 12-page books that was given away at a First Division match between Vélez Sarsfield and Newell's Old Boys. Reactions to the books were varied, however most people understood the reasoning behind the government's actions. In any case, all was forgotten when the teams took to the field for the game. In attendance at the match was one of the authors selected for the program, Ernesto Sabato. He'll be helping to keep Argentina's literacy rate at 98%, one of the highest in Latin America.
Despite wars, political repression and economic malaise, the Arab world is seeing a steadily growing participation of women in business and other public spheres. And to this end, speakers at the 2nd annual meeting of the Arab International Women's Forum called for wider recognition of the progress being made by Arab women throughout public life. The forum was set up in 2001 to help professional women across the Arab world exchange experiences and push for more opportunities to play their part in the development of Arab societies. Egypt's First Lady Suzanne Mubarak made such an appeal in her keynote address. Even in the most socially conservative Arab societies, women are quietly making major contributions outside the traditional family sphere. In the Saudi capital Riyadh, women account for 51% of university graduates and own 34% of businesses. There's little doubt these motivated Arab businesswomen will take the lead in widening opportunities for others to the benefit of all Arab societies.
At the end of a long day's work, wouldn't it be nice to wander down to the local spa to wind down? Well, in Hungary, you can. Tired of a traditional sales pitch of paprika and gypsy music, Hungary is promoting its natural resources, some 1,300 hot springs to cater for Europe's aging population. For Hungarians, taking the waters is part of the culture, and in the centre of the capital, Budapest, every day thousands of people enjoy thermal baths in Széchenyi Pool, Europe's largest health spa. The pool offers a variety of water therapies and is famous for the chessboards provided for bathers in the water. The pool was built almost 100 years ago on one of several natural springs under the capital and is housed in a neo-Baroque building that looks more like a cathedral than a bathhouse. The country, sitting in the Carpathian Basin, is blessed with thermal springs that gush millions of litres of hot, mineral-rich waters from deep underground almost everywhere you go. No wonder the bathing tradition is long and rich. It dates back as far as Roman times, when Roman soldiers with rheumatism were sent to Budapest for therapy. Companies drilling for oil usually find water instead, water rich in calcium, sulfur, chloride and a host of trace elements, which when absorbed by the body help soothe and cure ailments, from aching joints and bad backs to skin and muscle complaints and respiratory problems. Many of Hungary's larger spas, like Herviz, have modern techniques and therapies, offering a range of state-of-the-art health products, from dentistry and laser eye surgery to fitness gyms, massage, mud packs and plastic surgery. Herviz is a southern Hungarian spa resort and is home to Europe's largest hot water natural lake. Its visitors are mainly German and Austrian tourists who on average stay 2 to 3 weeks. Herviz is unique in the world with its 47,000 square meters, its mud, its huge collection of phytoestrogen, which is very good for women suffering from osteoporosis, and underwater traction, combined with very good hotel services and excellent cuisine. It's a chance to put Hungary firmly back on the tourism map. However, some Hungarian experts admit it's a hard sell to get some countries' nationals to take to the healing waters. There's a huge cultural gap when it comes to treating ill health with water, with Anglo-Saxons, for example, being mainly orientated to drug treatments of ailments. But Hungarian officials and hotel managers are optimistic about the future. They're counting on the fact that the spa tourist season is year-round and suffers far less than mainstream tourism from poor weather. They've also taken into account the fact that with taking the waters, there's very little risk of side effects so common to drug treatments. Meanwhile, the people staying at Herviz are enjoying the facilities and beautiful surroundings of the spa resort. And who knows, it may just be doing some good as well. Hungary has spent around $450 million to subsidize the country's 82 spas and 8 spa hotels in a bid to revive health tourism.
Our travel destination this week is sunny Spain, where you'll find a celebration of diversity with an excellent climate, delicious cuisine and joie de vivre. Spain's coastal playgrounds are renowned throughout the world, and there's also the chance to discover the country's exceptional monumental heritage in and around the towns and villages along the way. Once you've been out exploring, you can relax in the comfort of your hotel, or perhaps take in a gym session, or spend time in the pool. Ready to eat? Dining in Spain is one of the most pleasurable activities of daily life, and owing to the quality and variety of produce, it's one of the world's best. And the most famous dish of all is paella, whether made with meat or seafood, it's top of the list to try. And we haven't forgotten the beaches, the Costa Brava, the Costa Dorada, the Costa Blanca. These are just some of the names by which this stretch of the Spanish Mediterranean coast is known. And don't forget to see the amazing Andalusian horses as they put through their paces. Whether it's on a budget or going 5-star, taking a trip to Spain means to live an experience that you will never forget. Discover it.
3,500 people defied searing temperatures to take part in the 12th annual Armed Forces YMCA Mud Run at Camp Pendleton Military Base in the USA. The 10-kilometre course was riddled with obstacles, and the runners had to scramble through 9 metres of sand on their knees, jump over tyres placed on the trail, and navigate their way through a fake combat town. Putting the mud run together every year is a task and a half, but this year's committee chairman believed it was all worth it because the run was expected to raise close to $97,000. The money goes to support the many different programs on offer for Marines and their families. And they're off. The runners came here for mud, and there was plenty of it, with most of them enjoying squishing through the slime. However, the drop on the other side of the fence left some up to their necks in murky water. After getting through all that, they headed for the river, thinking that obstacle wouldn't be too bad. But they didn't bargain on the water being ice cold. Wet and freezing, they scrambled up the bank on the other side, knowing that they didn't have far to go. But some were already exhausted and eventually needed some assistance from the nearby Marines. Oops! A series of pipes was next. And after crouching through tunnels and climbing up a watery hill, the last obstacle was in sight, but it was the worst of the lot. Each and every runner had to crawl on their belly through nearly 20 metres of mud. Yuck! After a quick hose down, it was all over for another year. And as they headed for the tents, the pain and tiredness from the race was already forgotten. It was time to work out next year's strategy over a cold glass of beer.